neighborhood, folks, and it's just miserable outside. And you know, we had kind of a wet and ugly Memorial weekend, but it really wasn't a party weekend anyway. We were supposed to remember those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom to be on the TV today with you, even though it's raining outside. So, and we have whatever this is that's coming in. And so we never know what's going to happen. But it's good to be with you all today. And I have a friend and someone who's going to tell us a lot of stuff, Melissa Woody, who is Director of Tourism for the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce. And she's got her finger in just about every pot that's going in Cleveland Bradley County. So I called her and I said, Melissa, can you come on and talk to me about, and talk to our fans about First Friday, about all day singing and dinner on the ground, and anything else that we have coming up.
Anything else?
And so take it, Melissa.
Well, the funny thing, you said I got my finger on almost everything. Yesterday, I was at a meeting with Corey Dival, one of our senior planners for the city of Cleveland, and Sharon Marr, the director of Main Street Cleveland. And we were telling the folks we were meeting with that between the three of us, we're pretty much on every committee. So anything that they want to talk about, then we can pretty much talk about it.
That is true. And you're very informed about everything that people want to talk about, which is good. Because, and the thing I love about Melissa, if she doesn't know about it, she'll find out about it and get back with you. We've got several things coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Yes,
so
this coming Friday is our very first First Friday Festival of this season. We had that series for the first time last summer, thanks to a wonderful donation by Bacher Charleston. We had this series that we did and called it First Friday Festivals. So it's the first Friday of each of the summer months, June, July, and August. So thankfully, Bacher came through again, and they're sponsoring the whole series. Wonderful corporate citizens. And so we are excited to present First Friday Festivals again, and it will be June the 1st, July the 6th, and August the 3rd.
Okay.
So June the 1st is this coming Friday, and now we had some discussion today. Sharon and I, with Main Street Cleveland, we partner on this, the planning of this this event, and I'm kind of working on it on behalf of Allied Arts Council.
Yes.
That's kind of who we're saying that presents, and Allied Arts Council is a committee of the Chamber of Commerce, which is where I work. So it all, it all weaves.
It meshes.
Yes. So, the festival will start at 7:00. If it happens on Friday. And if it doesn't happen on Friday because of the rain, we'll just move everything to Saturday. So it'll just be the same place, same time, 7:00, just the first Saturday. So the first Friday festival possibly will be on Saturday.
And so our alliteration just goes right out
the window.
Yes,
exactly.
That's okay. First Friday Festival is such a great alliteration, and I love it.
And you know how much I love alliteration.
I know you love
alliteration. Yes, I love it.
I know you do. So it'll be moved. But now, in moving, where are we supposed to be?
The courthouse.
Okay.
Yes, the court. Yes, the courthouse square is where First Friday Festivals takes place, and there are 3 of them, and we have bands scheduled for each time. And I just drew a blank as far as who's coming tomorrow night, but it's Dexter Thomas Band for sure.
Oh, tomorrow night.
And then yes,
Friday night.
Yes,
okay. Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday night.
Too.
Or Saturday if it rains.
Yes.
Dexter Thomas Band is one of the bands that's going to be there. And then some of the other bands that are going to be in the series are Bad Tattoo, also a band out of Nashville called Jay and the Storm.
Oh, wow.
And which would be appropriate for Friday.
Absolutely. Very appropriate.
And then also the Collins Brothers Band.
Good.
And so we've got some good local bands that have a huge following. And but you'll find the whole listing on either the Main Street page, mainstreetcleveland.com, or on visitclevelandtn.com. We would have the listings there too.
And I think I saw somewhere on Facebook that the Collins Brothers are going to be at Riverbend.
Oh, is that right? I didn't realize that.
We got a big name.
Yeah.
We got a big name coming up here, and a band from Nashville. So that's great.
Yeah.
Now,
that's great.
Last year it was such fun, and last year we had food vendors. Are we having those again?
Yes, we are having food vendors. Not just a whole lot, because we want the food vendors to get the benefit of being there. Don't want to spread it out too much, but we've got a couple of entree vendors, got kettle corn, got Kona ice. So we'll have a good little sampling. So come hungry. And then also the downtown restaurants will be open. So,
good. Okay.
so we start at 7 this year. We found that starting at 6 last year, it was still pretty hot, but
Yeah.
people kept trickling in. And by 7 o'clock, the sun was kind of down over the trees of the courthouse, and it was a little more shady. And so we decided, well, let's just start it at 7, and that'll give people some time to eat, get home, get their shorts on, grab their chairs. So, so my big saying is, bring your chair to the courthouse square. So,
Okay.
rhyming and alliteration. I
That's
just
it.
absolutely
Melissa's
love it.
So good with both of those. There you go. So you do need to bring something to sit on
Yes.
because there's a few benches, but last year they filled up real fast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
you want to
so-
bring your own folding chair.
Right.
Guarantees you a seat.
Right, absolutely. Now, last year we had bouncy toys. Are we having bouncy this
Yes,
year?
we are
Oh,
having
good.
bouncy toys.
That's good.
yes, and we are having free face painting in the gazebo in the
Oh,
bandstand.
good. Okay.
Yes.
So a lot of things. It's family oriented.
Yes.
We have a lot of things going on, and that is great. And I will put this plug in. Last year, Gary and Sandy and I decided we'd run across the street to Cafe Roma
Mm-hmm.
and eat. Not good. If you want to run across the street to Cafe Roma Friday night, call and make a reservation because everybody had the same idea we did, except they called and made a reservation.
Yeah, well,
So any downtown
because Cafe Roma is so good.
it is good. And so any downtown restaurant that you might think about, you might want to call and be sure you get your table for 6 o'clock so you can be out and over and find a good seat for
Oh
the performance.
yes, definitely, and we will have those vendors with some festival
Right.
food type stuff. So, and then we'll just hope for great weather, July the 6th, and for August the 3rd, and so people need to just plan on coming on out and enjoying that. We probably the first one last year probably had about 500 people.
Yes, it did.
And so we need to support events like this because always there's somebody that says, "Oh, there's nothing ever happening in Cleveland," and there's also some music on the Greenway that night, and I think every Friday night in the summer. So I think the Salvation Army is presenting Jammin' on
good.
the Greenway or something like that. So I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on, folks. Just support
Absolutely.
it. That's when I was at a meeting where everybody was going around telling what they would like, and about to improve Cleveland, and about 5 or 6 people said, "Well, we need some more events." And when it got to me, I said, "We need people to come to the events we have."
That's right.
Because there's a lot of effort goes on with this stuff, and you've got wonderful sponsors like Vocker who help support events like this for the community, and it's free, so why not?
That's exactly right. And it just really burns me, and you know this because you've heard me preach it before, when people go out of town to spend their money and not spend it here, because as a school board member, folks, I will tell you right now, my tax dollar stays in Cleveland, Bradley County so I can support our schools.
Right.
Not the Hamilton County schools or the Dalton schools or the Ray County schools. I want to support our schools.
Right.
So if people would just realize how important that tax dollar is, I know you know.
Well, and I the other day I was coming back from Chattanooga, and my gas light came on at about the Volkswagen exit, but I came on into Cleveland and got my gas at the Speedway
Bless your heart. So
because I just cruised on fumes to get
There
to
you go.
Cleveland.
You kept your fingers crossed that you were doing that. Okay, so now talking about events coming up, we have another event coming up that you're involved in, and it's one that I just think is awesome because I grew up with this. I grew up with all day singing and dinner on the ground. 'Cause
Yes.
my daddy and both of my grandparents, my daddy and his daddy and brothers were in a quartet, and then my maternal grandfather was in a quartet, and my mother played the piano
Oh,
for both
cool.
quartets. I know. So there's a lot of singing going on at my house. So tell everybody what's happening June the 10th.
Yes, June the 10th, there is going to be an all-day singing and dinner on the grounds at the Museum Center. And it is a program in conjunction with the exhibit that's there. That's the Redback Hymnal exhibit. I believe it's called the Redback America's Best Love Hymnal is the name of the exhibit. And it's a permanent exhibit at the Museum Center at 5 Points. And we're going to try to start doing some programming around that exhibit so that we can draw attention to it and also, attract some more members to the museum
Absolutely.
to support things like this. Because, if you are interested in things like gospel singings and the Redback Hymnal, which is actually the church hymnal, which was published by Pathway press in 1951. Millions of copies went all over the world from Cleveland, Tennessee. So Cleveland is the home of the Redback Hymnal, which is why there's a permanent exhibit now at the Museum Center. But so many people are just have not they may not know that because they may not come to the Museum Center even though they live right here in this town. They may not realize how important the museum is in preserving our stories.
Absolutely.
And it's everyone's story. And I mean, you know, if you live in Cleveland, Tennessee and the Redback Hymnal hadn't been part of your life, then, you know, there's another story there for you, of course, but it touches a lot of people.
Well, I was at a Redback Hymnal singing, I guess it was 2 months ago, and they had the words up on the screen, and I don't know, the facility was full of people, and everybody was singing off the screen, and so this one gentleman comes up and he says, "I don't guess we need these hymnals." I said, "Excuse me, I'm the only Methodist in the room, but I have to have the hymnal in front of me because I wasn't raised with the Redback Hymnal, but I love the music." And in the 80s, the Gaithers made all of those songs so popular, and I just felt like that was a total turn in gospel music was when the Gaithers brought about the Redback Hymnal, and I love it. So I try to go to as many Redback Hymnal singings as I can.
Yes.
And I think we won't have any more. Well, this one will have, but I think the Sunday night events won't be happening again until September, October.
Right.
Like
Jack Clark, our
Oh,
beloved
yes.
friend, Jack
Yes.
Clark, who's wonderful. He does those he coordinates the singings at various churches during the spring and the fall. 3 in the spring, 3 in the fall. And Jack is working with us on this June event.
Oh, good. Okay.
And so the June event is on a Sunday afternoon after church, 1:30 to 4:30. So all day singing, you know, it's
That's
something to call
close.
it.
It's
So,
close.
you know, counting church, it is all day. But 1:30 to 4:30, and you bring enough for your family and maybe enough to share. Food, and bring your chairs, and there's going to be
And bring your hymnal.
a variety. Yeah, bring your hymnal.
If
We're
you're
going to have
Methodist
some.
and you don't know how to
Yeah.
sing these songs.
We'll have some there, and it's not a strictly Redback hymnal, but we're going to have congregational hymns from the Redback while different people are switching out. But we're
good.
going to have
Okay.
folks from all different churches all over the community. You know, not just churches, families that sing, and the Branhams are going to be there. They've got two of their family members are in the Gospel Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, and we're going to have the Purifoy family, Jermaine Purifoy.
Yes.
His family sings, and so they're going to be there. We're going to have a couple of groups from First Baptist, a group from North Cleveland Church of God, all different varieties of people. So
Sounds
it's
great.
exciting. Yeah,
sounds
I think
great.
it'll be fun.
Well, like I say, I was raised in McMinn County. That's, you know, just about every Sunday there was one somewhere. But I think the last one I went to was at Kevin Mendel's church. And,
Oh yeah,
and-
Kevin's going to be there.
Okay,
Yes.
good, because he sang and he and his wife did a duet, and it was. In fact, I think she was embarrassed because she was just getting over laryngitis, and she kind of looked at him funny, like when he said, "Come on up here and join me." It's like I don't have a voice, but she did. It was
That's
really
the great
nice.
thing about these singings. You never know what's going to happen. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know, in a split second, you may be up on the stage.
That's
you know,
right.
so.
That's exactly right, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really good music. So, and it's free.
It's free. It's free. And of course, you know, we're going to talk to everybody about joining the museum because, you know, it takes members to support programs like this
Absolutely.
and programs like the exhibit that's that's a permanent exhibit, and all the other exhibits that are in the museum and all the other programming that they have. But, you know, I think that there's a real misconception out there that it's so expensive to join the museum.
Not.
For an individual membership, it's $35.
Right.
And you can be a part of something that's so important to promoting and preserving our story in the Ocoee region. So just for $50, you can have a family membership.
Right.
So
And the thing
it's
about
really
that
affordable.
is the summer camps that they're offering, there's a discount if you're a member.
Yeah.
The jewelry and art classes that they offer, there's a discount if you're a member. And you can get your money back in no time
Oh,
if
yes.
you participate in
Right.
these things.
Right.
So, yeah. And but
it's a win-win,
it
really.
is. And the Redback Hymnal exhibit, it never fails. When I go in there, I go all the way back to the little place and I punch one of those buttons so I could hear one of those songs. And
Yes.
then I'm okay. Then I can go wherever else I need to go in the
I
museum.
love it.
But it's so neat. Melissa, thank you so much for being
Oh,
on with
you're
me today.
welcome.
Friday night, it starts at 7. We have 2 bands, 7 to 8 and 8 to 9.
Yes.
Face painting, bouncy toys, food, all
Yes.
kinds of good stuff. Free.
Yes.
Thanks
free.
to Vocker
Free. Thank you, Walker.
And then June the 10th, all day singing and dinner on the ground at the museum.
Yes, and the sponsors for that event, I need to make
Yes,
sure I
you do.
mention those, are the Cleveland Valley Chamber of Commerce
Of
is
course, thank you,
sponsoring,
thank you.
Pathway Press,
Oh, good.
First Baptist.
Okay.
We also have Kevin Brooks is one of our sponsors for that event, and then a paper product, the Chanceys. They offer paper products. They're going to be providing all of the paper plates and
how neat.
utensils, and so you don't have to bring all of that
No, you just
because
bring
that'll
your
be
sandwiches or whatever.
napkins and all of that stuff. So yeah, that'll be.
Fantastic. Melissa, thank you so much. Always great to hear what's going on in Cleveland, Bradley
Thank
County.
you,
and we always
Nancy.
hope people will stay here and support what's going on in Cleveland, Bradley County.
Absolutely. Thank you for always being so great to have me on and have everybody on that's doing something. I mean, if there was nothing to do in Cleveland, Nancy wouldn't have a show.
Exactly right, because that's what my show consists of. And at least this time, Melissa and I didn't get emotional talking about us moving the Indians out of town. So
We made it
won't
through
do-
one without crying.
We did. Melissa, thank you so much. Folks,
you,
I'll be
Nancy.
right back in just a minute. Now, remember, watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and I'll be right back with my next guest, so don't go away.